January 5th, 2005. A Norfolk Southern local train in Graniteville, South Carolina, parks on a spur line for the night, unaware of a misaligned switch that would lead to the deaths of 12 people and millions of dollars in damages. On January 5th, 2005, Norfolk Southern local train P22, led by Norfolk Southern number 4622, a GP59, was completing scheduled service with a standby employees as the regular crew were off duty at the time. The crew parked the train on a spur line in Graniteville, South Carolina along Aiken Road and signed off for the night, reporting to the local dispatcher at 7:53 and 7:54 p.m. Eastern Time to clear their two track warrants and left for the night. The brakeman of the train was unsure if he aligned the switch along Canal Street and Railroad Avenue that entered the spur, but nevertheless left for the night. Little did he know the loss of life that this would cause. 2:38 a.m., January 6th. Norfolk Southern Train 192 inbound from Augusta approached Graniteville at 48 miles per hour. Train 192 was compiled of two SD60 locomotives, Norfolk Southern number 6653 and Norfolk Southern number 6593. They had 42 freight cars trailing them, consisting of tankers and boxcars. On board were chlorine gas, sodium hydroxide, and cresol. As the train entered Graniteville, the engineer noticed the switch ahead was aligned for the spur at which P22 was parked at the time, and activated the emergency brakes. Unfortunately, train 192 did not have a long enough distance to stop. 192 was diverted onto the spur at 2:39 a.m. and collided head-on with train P22. Both lead engines on 192 were derailed, along with one freight car on train P22 and 16 on train 192. One of the freight cars transporting chlorine gas on train 192, which contained 90 short tons or 82 tons of the gas, ruptured, releasing roughly 60 tons of chlorine gas into the air. At the nearby Avondale Mills plant, 6 employees were exposed to the cloud of chlorine gas and were found dead around the plant. In addition, another employee of Avondale Mills Inc. was found and later died in the hospital. Employees of Avondale Mills Inc. were not the only ones affected, however. A truck driver for JW Express Trucking was found dead in his truck. The engineer of train 192 was retrieved from the wreck and later died in the hospital. 2 more deaths occurred, consisting of one man found dead in his home on Main Street close to the wreck, and one more death is credited to the train wreck. A man driving home from the local convenience store drove through the chlorine cloud, leading to his health deteriorating. He later died on April 21st of 2005. A further 250 plus people who were also subjected to the gas were sent to the hospital but later recovered. The National Transportation Safety Board found that the crash occurred due to the crew of train P22 failing to ensure the switch into the spur was properly aligned. No fatigue, drug, or alcohol use was found as a factor in the crash. The NTSB determined that the response to the accident was appropriate. Industrial response units recovered roughly 30% of the gas. The United States Federal Railroad Administration released reminders of the federal regulations regarding turnouts, also known as switches, following this incident, and a derailment caused by similar circumstances on January 8, 2005 on the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railroad. The FRA also further recommended that internal regulations within these railroads involving safety procedures on turnouts were ensured to be adequate. Avondale Mills Incorporated announced that all plants, corporate offices, and sales offices would close, leading to over 4,000 workers becoming unemployed across 4 different states. The affected plant due to the accident, the Grake plant, accounted for 40% of the company's revenue. Avondale Mills reached a $215 million settlement with its insurance company. Avondale Mills later sued Norfolk Southern in South Carolina federal court on March 10, 2008 for the $140 million that it cost for expenses on cleanup and repairs. The two companies reached a settlement outside of court. The U.S. EPA sued Norfolk Southern for violations to the Clean Water Act for Horse Creek, the nearby river, being polluted during the accident. Norfolk Southern paid the $4 million penalty. The lead engine of train 192, number 6653, was repaired and was later rebuilt as an SD60E with the number 6900. 6900 is still in service with Norfolk Southern.